Hello, everyone, and welcome to Tabor Talk. So, the mask is slipping. I would say, actually, at this point, the mask is off with Joe Rogan. So, right, I kind of say, for rhetorical purposes, Joe Rogan, the radical right wing propagandist. But I'm telling you what, it's not hyperbole at this point. So recently you saw at the UFC event. You see Trump. I'm sorry, Rogan shaking hands with Trump. I'm not going to make too much of that. I'm sure if Biden was there and they said, "Hey, I don't know, Woody," I don't know, but people were going kind of nuts over that. You see Mel Gibson, what's his name, Mark Wahlberg. They're right wingers anyway, but we all know this. Joe Rogan is right wing. He's a right wing guy. And it's so funny. Whenever I do videos and I talk about this, I get a lot of comments like from Joe Rogan simps, right? His fan base is rapid. He goes, "What are you talking about? Rogan's left wing, or he's independent or libertarian. He's definitely not right wing." I go, "I guess you're not really a fan. You haven't listened to the podcast in the last couple of years or so." I mean, Rogan has changed, right? What do you want to call it? Red pilled? Whatever. Here's the thing. And by the way, Joe still has some very good qualities. Like sometimes I listen, like I don't listen to every show anymore. As I indicated on a couple of my videos, I'm done with Rogan because of this. By the way, he repeats himself over and over, and his show is kind of boring now. It's just, I've heard all of his stories. He's got a very bad habit of repeating over and over and over. I'm like, "Joe, this is not stand up. I know if you're working at a bit on stand up, that's fine, right? You have different audiences. But people who tune into your podcast day in and day out, it's fine, some good stories once in a while, but I'm telling you, repeats. I'm not kidding, like dozens, hundreds of times. Some of these stories and jokes, and man, that's annoying. I just can't do it. So there's that, and obviously he's right wing. So, and by the way, I was like his number one fan, right? Like Kathy Bates, "I'm your number one fan." But no, I was a fanboy for sure. And I don't want to repeat myself, but I used to listen to every single podcast, no matter who it was or what the topic, even if it was something I wasn't interested in. I listened to every minute of every podcast for like a decade. And I kid you not. I kid you not. And in fact, if you go on my channel, you'll see, like, I don't know, a few dozen videos just on Joe Rogan. A lot. Like, I thought he was the best. And he was definitely center left. I would say center, sort of left, very fair. Like I said, the average Joe's perspective. His name is perfect. Average Joe, smarter than the average bear, with some common sense, and there was appeal. He had people on the left who loved him, people on the right who loved him, people in the middle who loved him, independents, and hence the number one podcast in the world. But now he's made this decision. Was it an unconscious thing? Was it a deliberate thing to go right, hard right, basically really hard right? And he's an asshole now too. He really is a dick, and it's, for me, it's so disappointing because I really love the guy. I really thought he was such a kind, nice guy, and he's definitely not. And I understand we're human, we're all flawed, and all this, but some of the clips you hear, I'm like, holy shit, this is very disappointing. Okay, I'm gonna play a clip from the Humanist Report. Love this channel, by the way, Mike Figueredo. I'm gonna put I'll put the link in the comments section. And here's Joe going after gay and trans and LGBTQ. By the way, Joe used to be so open-minded with this. Was so many of his guests were gay. He has friends or whatever, not to like anecdotal, blah 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 blah. But he was very cool, and I really don't. Is he homophobic? I don't know. But let me play a little bit of this, and again, I'll put it in the comment section and see for yourself. Here we go. Talking about pride, by the way. Joe says how the gays took over that word. The gays. All right, here we are. Ready?
How weird is it that when you say pride, people immediately think of gay?
Pride means gay, yeah.
How wild is that?
Yeah.
That they did that.
That they did that.
They own, like, it's
Cain Velasquez has brown pride tattooed on his chest.
yeah.
Now people are like, what are you trying to say?
He's gay brown. Yeah.
What's that? What are you trying to say? You know, it used to be you were proud.
Right. Now
It's gay.
It definitely means
Wild.
queer. Yeah.
Pride Month.
Queer month.
I mean, imagine, you don't even have to say gay pride anymore.
Yeah.
You say Pride Month. How insidious. They snuck it in.
Yeah.
They slowly took over pride. Like, they took over the rainbow.
Rainbows are, it's so funny to think that University of Hawaii used to have rainbows on their helmets.
Can't have it anymore.
You just listened to a portion of Joe Rogan's podcast where he bemoaned queers who insidiously took over pride and hijacked rainbows, because this is definitely a very serious issue that serious people care about. You know, I think this just goes to show you that rich people have too much time on their hands. When you are so rich, like Joe Rogan, when you are a 100 millionaire, you literally have to invent things to be mad about. Otherwise, your life will just be too boring.
Yeah, exactly.
But my favorite part about that clip was Tom Segura just sitting there uncomfortably nodding along and then trying to gently move the conversation into less explicitly homophobic territory. Because I think that he knows, like, if he pushes back too much here, then he's not going to be invited back on. But also, he doesn't want to appear homophobic. So, you know, defending gay people, getting invited on Joe Rogan's show, it's hard to walk that fine line, but I do believe that Tom Segura straddled the fence perfectly. But when it comes to Joe Rogan, I mean, he's an asshole, right? And watching that tells me that he's just devolved further into being a Fox News grandpa, but it's even worse than
Fox
that,
News
because
grandpa,
he even sounds like those whiny evangelicals who are part of the Reclaim the Rainbow movement, who accuse the LGBTQ mafia of misappropriating their religious symbol. But I mean, at the end of the day, we all know that contrived outrage over the rainbow being stolen is just a more respectable way of saying that they hate gays and they wish that we'd go back into the closet. And the same thing is true for Joe Rogan, right? But we'll come back to that, because first I want to discuss how angry he is that gays took over the word pride. Now, you can argue that the word pride, it's become pretty synonymous with, you know, the fight for gay rights. I think that that's fair, sure. But there's also something known as context, and that changes depending on how you use particular words, right? I feel like I shouldn't have to explain this to someone who is twice my age, but regardless, we're going to do it. But first, let's get back to basics. So the definition of pride is a feeling of deep pleasure or satisfaction derived from one's own achievements or consciousness of one's own dignity. Now, missing from the definition is gay. Now, I feel like it's useless to even go to the definition, because Joe Rogan is somebody who lacks common sense and basic reading comprehension. For example, he reacted to an MSNBC article about
ridiculous.
how the right and the red pill movement is fixated on health, and he just responded with something to the effect of, "What the fuck? Being healthy is far right now?" So we're not dealing with the brightest bulb, right? But the point is that pride is used in different contexts still. It's not just a gay word. I mean, I guess if you want to give the word to gays, then we'll take it. But I mean, it's
So
still
stupid.
used in a variety of contexts. Like when somebody tells you to swallow your pride, they're not asking you to swallow a cock. They're asking you to check your
He's
ego.
funny, man.
If somebody says that they're a proud black man, I don't automatically assume that they're coming out of the closet, right? And Joe Rogan might be dumb, but there's at least enough brain cells left in his skull, I hope, to realize this. The problem is that he's irritated with gay visibility and he doesn't want to say it, right? And this is the only way he knows how to articulate that without sounding overly homophobic. But I mean, it's a little bit too late. He's been going mask off on this issue for years now, so he should just say what he feels. Now, in the lead up to this conversation, he was talking about pride, and he pretended to not know why gay people are prideful in the first place while discussing Bud Light and Dylan Mulvaney. And I want to share this clip with you because it gives us a lot of insight into the thinking of Joe Rogan. Not that there's much thinking going on, but like
instead of, because I know it's annoying holding up the phone. By the way, I've been saying this for like a year, but I'm going to work on that, like editing the clips right in. I'm going to try to be a little professional. By the way, I'm all by myself here. I'm not a tech savvy guy. I don't really know, I don't know what I'm doing. So watch this. It's 14 minutes. I'll put it in the comment section. It's great. They're going to show a lot of clips with Joe going off and saying these ridiculous things. So there you go. I don't know if that's proof for you idiots out there, but Joe Rogan is full-blown right-wing, and he's a fucking asshole now. So So, and that's just the way it is. I have other people I listen to anyway. So, just a shame. That's all. Good friends, good books, and a sleepy conscience. Peace, love, and understanding here in Tabor Talk.